We're into fall. Part of the country isn't. Part of it is. Okay. This has to do with death. I want people to begin to understand the reality of death. I am tired of people being lied to about when someone dies. They're not in heaven with Christ. They're not laying on his bosom. They are sleeping. Christ himself told us this. He gave the truth when Lazarus passed away. Not only is the truth about death throughout the Bible, it speaks of it as sleep. Daniel was told to go rest with the fathers. King David, is said to now be resting with the fathers. It does not say that they're up there hanging out with God and doing all this stuff with him and watching the people they love being dealt with in the manner they are. Imagine if, say, your parents passed, all right, and you're young and you have to now navigate the world without them. Do you think that's easy? If you've been through it, you know it's not. No matter what age you are, that's very hard. And if your parent cared for you at all, then they would not be at ease up there with God. They would not be settled. They'd be watching you and very upset over all of your hurt and anger and pain and misery. Imagine if you were left totally broke. How do you think they'd feel then? Would God seem so merciful then? No, because God helps when he needs to. People need to understand that the path we now walk, we already walked it once. And God makes sure that the steps we already took are taken again. He steps in when Lucy, tries to put us off our path, to take us away from what it is we're meant to do in life. So, I am in John chapter 11, and we're going to read about the death of Lazarus so that you can understand the reality of who Christ is and what happens when we die, okay? Because who's going to wake up to the resurrection if not those who have passed? If they were already all in heaven, what would the need of a resurrection be? There would only be the need of the second one, when the evil, wicked, those who choose not God, wake up to face their judgment, the white throne judgment. But that's not the reality of it. We follow the word, and the word tells us the truth of what happens when we die. And it's definitely not harps in a cloud. So let's go on to John chapter 11, and we'll start at verse 1. Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. These were friends of Christ. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Do you recall that story? That was an awesome story. Christ had delivered her, saved her, gave her salvation, and she spread her hair upon his feet to show him her respect. All right. And this is the sister of Lazarus who's sick. In verse 3, therefore his sister sent to Jesus, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick, meaning Lazarus, his good friend. When Jesus heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard, therefore, that Lazarus was sick, he, Christ, abode 2 days, still in the same place where he was. Then after that he said to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. And his disciples were concerned, and they said unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and thou goest thither again? Meaning you're going back? And Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there's no light in him. These things he said, and after that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, If he sleeps, he'll do well. Howbeit, otherwise Jesus spoke of his death. But the disciples, they thought that he had spoken of taking a rest and sleep. Then Jesus said unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I'm glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent that ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go on to him. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. Then when Jesus came, he found that he had already lain in the grave 4 days. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off, a few miles. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him. But Mary still sat in the house. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Jesus saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. And Martha said unto him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. See, even back then they knew that. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? And this is where the confusion comes from. She saith unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. And when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, The Master is come, and calleth for thee. As soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Now Jesus was not yet come into the town, but was in that place where Martha met him. The Jews then which were with her in the house and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and went out, they followed her, saying, She goeth unto the grave to weep there. Then when Mary was come where Jesus was and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping which came with her, he groaned in his spirit and was troubled. He was heartbroken by their words. And he said, Where have you laid him? And they said unto him, Lord, come and see. And Jesus wept. This man had deep, great compassion. Then said the Jews, Behold how he loved him. And some of them said, Could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died? Jesus therefore, again groaning in himself, cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Jesus said, Take ye away the stone, Martha. The sister of him that was dead saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he had been dead 4 days. And Jesus saith unto her, Said I not unto thee that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldst see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus saith unto him, Loose him and let him go. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them things that Jesus had done. Okay, that's the reading of the truth of what happens when we die. We're not wandering. We're not watching our loved ones. We are sleeping. You know, when you lay down at night and you go to sleep and then you wake up in the morning, that's what's going to be like for those who passed away. They're going to have no idea of the amount of time that's passed. And when Christ comes and he calls forth, they're going to wake up and they're going to think that they just passed. But it could have been thousands of years, could have been 2 days, could have just occurred. All that matters is that we who are here understand the truth of what happens when we die, that we're not believing in the deceptions that Lucifer has done and making us believe that our loved ones are wandering the earth, waiting to manifest themselves to us. We cannot do that. We have to understand that that's a deception. And if we continue to believe that, we'll believe anything we're told. And we have to stop that, especially for Christians. If we claim to follow the Lamb, if we claim that Christ is everything to us, then we stand in his stead. We are instead of. We are meant to bring forward the truth that people we care for, people we don't know, will find him and not pass. There are many things that people say will keep us from Christ, but those are their own thoughts, their own condemnation. Come to Christ. He said, come as you are. He doesn't care what you are, what you believe at this point, anything. He loves you. He created you, and he wants you to be happy. Now, he left us a book in order to be able to understand that and learn how to walk with him if that was our choice. There's many things we can't do if we choose to follow the Lamb. We can't be self-centered. We can't live this life to make ourselves happy because that's not why we were created. We were created to live this life for him, selflessly, not wondering what gender we are, whether we should love a man or a woman, whether we're better than somebody else or any of those things, because we're all equal. There is none better than another. President Trump is no better than I. I'm no better than him. I'm no better than the guy who lives in India in a box that he's lucky to have there. I am the same as you. I bleed, I cry, I have desires and wants just like you. Every person on this planet is the same, no matter when we lived, no matter when we're going to live. What matters is the character of which we choose to live under and with. Just understand that's all we're trying to say is find something that's greater than yourself to believe in. Find the truth of why you're here. Understand that and then live your purpose. That's all I'm saying. Just know that you are loved and you are awesome. So enjoy the rest of your day. Think about this. Go to the Word of God. If you need a Bible, get a hold of me. I'll send you one. Just know you're loved. Good day.